Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thanks for tuning in to this Friday edition of the Engine Room Podcast brought to you by TokenMetrics.com. My name's Dylan Love. I'm joined today by Bill Noble. What's up, Bill?
Hi, what's going on?
Not a lot other than, this is the week that we saw this gigantic hack, $4.6 billion. Was it Bittrex from a few years ago?
Right.
And we know who these people are, and they've got a very funny and embarrassing story. It's a husband and wife couple, and she wanted to make a go as a rapper. And if you want to look for those videos, I think her rap name is Raza Khan. I'm forgetting exactly, but there's a crypto criminal who has some very embarrassing rap videos out there that we encourage you to watch. So the question is, we thought this stuff was supposed to make it harder for law enforcement to come track you down and figure out who you are. Turns out that's not the case at all. There's this. Let's do a little screen share on this Wired article here, because there is a Wired article that basically breaks down how the IRS was able to get into these people's business and catch them for not declaring billions and billions in ill-gotten income. Here we are. So yeah, this is a Wired story. Ilya Lichtenstein and Heather Morgan, 4.5 billion. But where do we got to get to the part where they're talking about the IRS? Here we go.
Yeah,
go,
there's
Bill.
a part where they have like, a
You see this
Monero
paragraph,
workaround.
Bill? The IRS
Yes.
hasn't entirely spelled out how its investigators defeated those two distinct obfuscation techniques, referring to what these guys were doing to cover up their tracks. But clues in the court document and analysis of the case by blockchain analysis experts suggest some likely theories. They used a tumbler called AlphaBay. You put your money in, and then it makes a separate transaction, and a bunch of people are depositing their money. So the idea is that it makes it easier to hide from the cops, basically. So the IRS was able to get around that somehow. And then what's the other one? Making a deposit and then withdrawing after is now a way to tumble. Yeah, it's exactly just how a tumbler works. You had an interesting theory about this, Bill, because Monero was definitely part of these guys' methodology here in terms of hiding money. How likely is it, do you think, that the government has a way into Monero? Monero makes its whole spiel about being private and anonymous. How likely do you think it is that the government can actually see around that and figure out who's who?
All right, good question. So I don't think the government can necessarily see specifically into Monero, but I mean, think of it, I don't know, it's like the Monero lounge, right? The government may be able to see you coming in and coming out, right? Or track where you go after you leave Monero. So obviously there's a trail, right? I mean, you had to buy the Monero through some mechanism, and then if you go back to any other mechanism, they can find how you splintered it out.
Yeah,
So
it appears that these guys were only trying to add one layer of obfuscation between the dirty source money, and then they had a bunch of other different accounts where they would send this to accounts that they controlled. They would send chunks of that lump sum and take it out that way. The only problem is that they met KYC on these accounts. There's a detail here about how they had registered some 20 or more different accounts that they controlled using all the same photographs as required for KYC guidelines. So these guys, they didn't do it very well. If you're going to try to get away with something like this, they could have tried a little bit harder, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, the days of being able to pull this kind of stuff in crypto, they're over. I mean, there's a firm in New York, Chainalysis, that sells a software that trains federal agents how to read what goes on a blockchain. All right, so they're showing the guys with guns and badges or the research analysts how to do this. And it's obviously in the interest of every country and the crypto market to maintain some level of integrity to make sure bad guys aren't moving huge sums of money around to do bad things. I know we want privacy and sovereignty, right? But I consider it a net positive for crypto that they can prevent like a $4 billion, a $4 billion hack, it's kind of silly that it's to start a rap career,
I
reinforcing
think she started the rap career before that. Yeah, yeah.
reinforcing the notion that crypto may be one of the largest collections of people in the world that are a little off one way or the other.
Sure. Yeah, that
You
resonates.
know, you know.
Well,
So
I just want to quickly read a paragraph here from this. Tracing Monero has long been suggested to be theoretically possible. A 2017 study by one group of researchers found that in many cases they could use clues like the age of coins in a Monero transaction to deduce who moved which coins, though Monero subsequently upgraded its privacy features to make that far harder to do. So it sounds like they used to have a good way to guess at what's going on, but it just got more difficult. Interesting. I wonder if we'll ever actually know the whole story, Bill. I want to know how the world works. I want to know why this is possible when Monero's marketing says, "Oh, it's impossible."
right. Well,
Um,
as there's Monero's marketing, and then there's government agencies, and
it's
spooky
maybe it's
people.
good
So
marketing in crypto if your executives are randomly held up at airports or caught in jail. Fluffy Ricardo what's his name? Spagnoni. He's
yeah.
the one of these early Monero developers. He's the name associated with Monero, and it was like major street cred in my opinion when he got held up at some airport some time ago, because if you're going to talk that kind of talk, it probably
Yeah.
helps to see some repercussions, even if it is as minuscule as being held up at an airport. But anyway,
Yeah, I mean, I checked the Monero's price actually kind of unwound its big puke, and it hasn't really moved. So I don't think anybody's losing confidence in Monero,
yeah, I for
right?
better or worse, Bill, I don't know that this hack is really a market story. It seems that this really what people are talking about are the human beings involved. How big of a game they talked while actually being not smart people, in my opinion, because they're facing who knows what kind of jail time and fines right now. But really, the story that people are taking away with this is it seems that this rap thing has really become the meme of this story. Did you hear about the crypto hackers who are terrible rappers? It is going to be how people remember this, I think.
I
I
would
think.
think that's absolutely correct, right? It'll probably be an all-time classic crypto
Well, let's
story
read this last
in
paragraph here
every
on this
sense of the
wire.
word.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Last paragraph of this story here. The unspoken message to the Liechtensteins and Morgans of the world. Even if your rap videos and sloppy cloud storage accounts don't get you caught, your clever laundering tricks may still not save you from the ever evolving sophistication of law enforcement's crypto tracers. Yeah, I think it's kind of easy, in my opinion, to just be like, oh, this stuff is complicated and the government's not interested in it. Law enforcement isn't interested in it. Yeah, they absolutely are. So whether or not we know how they're doing what they're doing, it seems like there's always going to be interest in being able to stop the people associated with moving crypto payments. You can't actually stop the payment. You have to get to the person, and I think the government has demonstrated it's pretty good at getting to people. So I wouldn't be surprised if.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the government. There's private sector firms making money helping the government, like Chainalysis.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what else do we need to know about Chainalysis, Bill? They're like a security consultancy.
Well, I think they've developed like an enterprise software product. I mean, don't quote me on this, but they have an enterprise software product that they use, to market to, government agencies and train agents how to read what goes on blockchains,
Yeah, here.
right? So instead of you having to be, you know, a programmer, you can use this software to query information,
Yeah, here's a telling
right? These
paragraph
guys,
here. So, of course, very predictably, no one wants to comment on how they actually caught these guys. IRS criminal investigations declined to comment on the Bitfinex case beyond the public documents it's released, and Chainalysis declined to say whether it had been part of the investigation, much less whether it had helped the IRS to trace Monero. That's a yes. That's a yes, we did.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's Chainalysis marketing right there. I mean, I've been reading their newsletter for a while, right? Um, it's a super sophisticated group of people, and obviously they've got Uncle Sugar as a customer, so I think they're going to do quite well.
Well, right on. So I think we can mostly wrap this episode up, guys. If you haven't already followed this crazy story about this hack, it's worth digging into. And if you want to amuse yourselves on this Friday, do be sure to check out the rather vulgar but hilariously bad rap video done by the female half of this hacking team here. At any rate, don't forget to watch Bill. He is doing live streams 5 days a week for you. Bill, that's at 1 p.m. Eastern every Monday through Friday.
Yes.
So subscribe to this video, hit that bell so you can be notified when we're live, and stay in touch with. There's the thank you, Bill. Thank you. One more time for good measure, Bill. There it is.
Right.
All right, everybody. Thanks for
Subscribe to Token
watching.
Metrics.
And
Market update.
what's that, Bill?
Go ahead. No, market update 5 days a week.
Market update 5 days a week with Bill, 1 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. You're not going to get it anywhere else but this channel. So like, subscribe, stay in touch. See ya.